It is yours truly, once again. Yeah, there's this idea about first impressions. I won't go into details about what that really means, but what I will say is that I believe that what if I were to tell you that second impressions are actually more important than first impressions? Okay? I mean, you got to think about it. Just in layman's terms, people do whatever they can to get you, but they don't do what they can to keep you. So, steady wins the race. Love is about things being steady. People want to go over the top when they first want to win you over to attract you. Then when they get around you, they just basically distract you. They're nothing but a distraction. They went from being an attraction to a distraction. So it's unfortunate because a lot of things about what garners or what represents something that is long standing, if you will, is the sense of something being steady, something that flows. That's it. Like that's kind of where I see there's a lacking amongst a lot of people, why some people walk away. Yet you did what you could to get that person, but you couldn't do what you can to keep that person. So you ended up the one walking away, not them. You see, it's kind of reminds me of how people treat a lot of pets, especially exotic pets. They do everything they can to get these pets, then they turn these pets into pests. Throw them out there to where they become an invasive species in a lot of lakes, a lot of forests, things like that. But not to figuratively speak too much on that from the standpoint of one becoming a pest after someone made them a pet and discarded them. No, that's not what I mean. Even though, yeah, that kind of goes back to some of these narcissistic talks that are out there in regards to how people discard you afterwards. Because people do whatever they can to get you, but they don't do what they can to keep you. Okay, like that is real because people just don't believe in things being constant regarding love, or they're halfway about it. You know what I'm saying? They become a haphazard about it. It's like what happened to all that energy that you put into actually getting that person to be around? What happened to all this growth that you should have for this person to stay around, right? Like there's supposed to be growth there. If it seems like y'all stuck in that same place, somebody not growing there, you know? And it just goes back to why second impressions are more important. It's not just enough to know how you got somebody to be around you. How can you keep them around you? How can you keep that fire burning? How can you keep that going with that person versus how you got that person? And no, after so long, years will go by, and one can't just look at how y'all met. One will look at how did y'all stay together? How are y'all continuing to stay together? Because I've always said at this channel, true love never dies and it never gives up on the other person. So that's another reason why second impressions are more important. That you just, got with me, and then after that, all the whatever you had for me died down after so long. Now you're just not going to be steady and consistent with me, as far as just being around me, like. And so the thing that some people define as far as consistent is concerned is doing the same thing over the top that you did when you first met that person. No, that's not what that is. Actually, the person that does everything over the top for you initially, that's kind of the person you need to watch out for, because you're going to expect them to always do that going forward. They want all this grandiose going on in a relationship when really the most grandiose thing about y'all relationship should be how y'all continue to stay together no matter what. That's grandiose to me. Forget all the little trinkets and the little things y'all do together. No, I want to know about how y'all stay together. What were the little things y'all did to stay together? Second impressions matter more. third impressions, fourth impressions, however way you want to look at it. But I feel that my whole point is you got to see that a person was not a fluke. You got to see that a person was not a gimmick. You got to see that a person wasn't all about that catfish and that cap. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to see that they mean what they say what they mean regarding you, right? So you're not going to know that just based on a first impression. I think it's just a red flag when someone tries to impress you initially. Like, what you want from a person is simply just a natural attraction. Like, y'all just vibe good. People don't even know how to vibe good no more. You know what I'm saying? Because people want to see what your bank account like. They want to see what type of job you work at. They want to see that you're not struggling, right? Like, that's impressive to people these days. It's impressive to people that you have this going on, you have that going on. That's impressive to people. What about that second impression, right? Where maybe when you first met them, they didn't have it all together, but now they get it all together. That's a second impression, right? And what if the first time you met them, they had it all together, right? But the second time you met them, you got to see what it took for them to keep things together. That's another second impression, right? So people can miss me with the first impression because they'll just go off that. They'll stay on that. Like, you got to be like that. No, it ain't always like that. Shut up. It ain't always like that, right? But you can get like that, right? So I think that matters more of how you get like that. You know, like what it takes, what you go through behind the scenes. That's why it's a shame for a lot of people out here, and I'm trying to keep this as neutral, genderized as possible, because it's just a lot of canceling culture going on out there. But to those that, you know, if you know, you know. So based on this, I'm going to say, like, there's just too much people not really being there for other people. Like, to really just that sense of support, you know, to know what it takes for someone to be who they are. Like, you don't know what goes into that every day. And some days they are not all together, okay? Like, they check on everybody, but who checks on them? Who looks out for them? Who really loves on them, cares for them? You know, who is truly, really intimate with them? And it ain't sex. Sex and intimacy are not the same. Like, intimacy, into me, see? Like, you know, oh, we like this, you know? Just makes you wonder, oh, we like this. We more like this instead of like this, you know? So that's why the second impression is more important, because the first impression, the person will make it seem like y'all like this, but then after so long, you know what I'm saying, they're going to be like this, depending on whatever they don't like about you, whatever you going through, whatever. You know, what happened to, like, you know, I thought we were good. Like, that person was never good with you. They just wanted to see what was good about you. That first impression. They don't know what it takes for things to stay that way. Second impression. I'm definitely not impressed about that.